Welcome to Soapbox Heroes. My name is Tyrone Irvin. It is my pleasure to be able to bring to you today my friend, my brother, Deric Muhammad. He's an activist, and I like to say the part that he's not just acting, he is literally taking action.
Man, thank you for having me, my brother. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you.
Kamala Harris is a highly intelligent black woman. Mm-hmm. Some are saying that she's not black. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. Ask her how many times she's been called nigger.
Right.
Okay?
Especially running for certain offices.
Yeah. Even if she didn't know she was black, she's black enough.
You still a nigger.
Yes. Trust me, she's been reminded several times. And she has a record that is not so, it doesn't sit well with the black community.
Not at all.
And what those who support her have to understand is that those who feel that she has betrayed our community in the past have the right to say so.
Right.
And for those who are expressing their disgust with her past record and her past policies, you have to say something, but you can do so in a way that it is respectful. Now,
Absolutely.
I don't think that Kamala Harris is the solution to our problem.
No.
The problem of black people is not a political problem. It's a spiritual problem. It is a cultural problem. And it is an economic problem.
It seems that it's so hard to wean people off of the system that we have now. Do you think that that politics is so important to black people because being excluded from it in so many type of ways, almost like something that you can't have. Now that you can have a resemblance of it, you just want it so much because you've been excluded from it. Do you think that has something to do with it?
This goes back to your first question. Like, what do I think about the division? We have to remember that politics in and of itself is designed to be divisive.
You have to have a conflict.
Party politics is designed to be divisive. That's the way that it has been constructed and crafted. And so when we get to arguing over politics, see, it's different from when white people argue over politics.
They don't put each other out of homes over it.
Well, it's not even just that. You know, the Republicans, they have their little era where they're in power.
Yes.
And white Republicans benefit.
Very much so.
Okay. Democrats, they have their little era.
Yes.
Whether it's 8 years, 10 years, or whatever,
yeah,
where they're in power. The Democrats control the House. They control the Senate. We have a Democrat. Like, and during those moments, it is white Democrats that benefit.
Overwhelmingly.
Yes. But you can go back 30 years, brother. Republican to Democratic president, no matter what the administration looks like, the hood still looks the same.
Yes.
And so my question to black people is this. 12 years ago, we were sold what was called change that we could believe in.
Hope and change.
Yes. And as a people, we organized politically like never before to get behind what I believe was the baddest man to ever enter American politics ever. Whether you love or hate Barack Obama,
yes,
he's a bad black man, and he knew how to come in and beat them at their own game.
Yep.
It's difficult for the Democratic Party to find a so-called good candidate right now. Because Obama raised the standard so high.
Yeah.
And so we elected the first black president of the United States of America. I was so happy for my 91-year-old grandmother that she lived to see the day.
Yes.
And all of those who marched in the civil rights movement were happy because they lived to see the day that a black man could live in the White House.
Yes.
But guess what?
What?
The house was still white. And so my question to black people, if 8 years of a black president did not change your condition, how in the hell do you think that 4 or 8 years of a black vice president is going to change your condition?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is we're focusing our energy in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Kamala Harris, even if she wanted to change the condition of black people, she would not have the power to do so.
The structure around her is designed to do the opposite.
And let's just be let's just be honest. When you look at her history, she is a candidate that was made by the machine. She wasn't made by the community.
No. She's completely an establishment candidate.
100%.
When I look at Kamala Harris, and this is the thing, it's to the point to where now if you're honest about one person, it's almost like you're saying the other person is great. I'm one of those people I could say, no, they could both be bad. These things can happen. This isn't a linear thought. And so with Kamala Harris is a conservative at heart. If you look at her policies, if you listen to her rhetoric, if you listen to the things that she did to stay in place in California and advance in California, she sounded just like the people she argues with on the other side of the aisle. People, when you talk about the things that she has done as far as criminal justice and criminality and over prosecuting black people, minorities,
Right.
for her advantage,
The numbers don't lie.
they don't lie. Her words don't lie. Why do people get so angry, Deric, when you say things that are factual about somebody they may like? What's the anger?
Well, right now, the climate is so ginned up with the whole thought of getting rid of Donald Trump that we don't realize that this is how they sell us on the notion to lower our standards.
There are none at this point.
Anything or anybody to get rid of Donald Trump. Listen, I'm all for removing Donald Trump
Absolutely.
from office.
Absolutely.
I'm all for it. But the sad part about it is that we believe that as a people, our future hinges on whether Donald Trump becomes president or not.
Right.
And I'm saying to myself, this is mind blowing.
Yeah.
Do we realize what we're saying? What we're saying is that this white man
Yes.
has power and control over our future.
Yes.
That's something that our ancestors had to deal with 300 years ago.
Yeah.
No white man has power and control over your future.
Yeah.
So if Donald Trump is removed, fine. If he's not, fine.
Fine.
Black people still have to craft an agenda that is for us, by us, that our children and grandchildren can benefit from. And so the scary part is this. With a guy like Trump in office, a white nationalist who is brazen and overt with his racism.
Extra overt.
And I like my racism overt.
Me too.
I prefer my white supremacists to be
Overt. Yeah.
Let me know who you are.
I don't want no covert racist.
Exactly.
Because I might drop my kids off and you could be their teacher.
Thank you, brother. And so if you remove him, if you put a covert racist in there, who has a D beside his name versus an R.
Yes.
What that does, unfortunately, is it causes the black community to hit the snooze button.
Absolutely.
And we go right back to sleep.
Right. With the same policies and
But we
things
wake up 8
perpetuated.
years later, and our community still looks the same. So what I'm saying is we don't have time to be arguing over a candidate who's pushing somebody else's agenda.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Deric, I say this. When it comes to the candidates, put it all on the table about all of the candidates. Donald Trump, Mike Pence, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden. And people will say, well, if you say the truth or if you keep talking about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you're going to make people vote for Donald Trump. And I say, well, if their record is that bad, I'm not the problem. If the truth makes you vote for somebody else, why would you be mad at the person telling the truth instead of the person who executed the things that you're telling the truth about?
Brother, you hit the hammer right on the head of the nail. People would rather compromise truth for a political outcome than speak the truth and let the chips fall where they may. What you don't understand is if you compromise the truth and these people are elected based on a lie, then all you do is you're just going to further frustrate our young people, and they ain't gonna want to be a part of the political process ever again. And that's where we are. We are in a time where truth must preponderate over falsehood.
Absolutely.
And if we don't love truth, if you love a candidate more than you love the truth,
something's wrong.
Then there's something morally wrong with you.
Something's wrong.
And we got to get out of that sheep mentality, my brother.
Yeah, Deric, with slavery, I don't like just stopping at slavery because I feel our history is a lot deeper than slavery.
Much deeper.
Much deeper. But for this point in particular, I have to say this. I'm getting a Amber Alert, so we're gonna unamber that.
Somebody trying to kidnap the truth.
Somebody trying to kidnap the truth.
Yes.
You know, but we truth traffickers.
That's right, my brother. That's right.
We're truth traffickers. In slavery, during slavery, what I noticed is when we go back in history, white people would only tell us what they wanted us to know. They would never tell us the full truth. When we go back before slavery, when we come to history, the history of us, any history involving black people, it's always been slanted and given to us in a way that is more beneficial for somebody else. That's what I feel like is happening when people don't want you to tell the truth about all the candidates. If you only want me to know part of the information, how do you want me to make a fully formed decision?
Right. And that's one of the reasons that people are more focused on voter registration than they are on voter education.
And information, absolutely.
Because if you educate me as a voter, then you empower me to make a choice that's best for myself and my community. If you educate me. And they don't want us to be educated to the degree that we look underneath the little pretty rug. You know how you have one of those little pretty Persian rugs? And you come and you sit and you watch television about a pretty Persian rug, but you keep smelling something. Something smells around here.
Right.
The pretty rug, then you lift up the rug and you find the dog doo-doo.
Under the rug.
Under the rug. Listen, it doesn't matter how long you bury the dog doo-doo under the rug. At some point, it's going to start stinking.
Stink.
So you can try and hide the history of Kamala Harris, and I'm talking about the history of her policies.
Yes.
Those things that she actually got behind and pushed that hurt black families in California.
Bad.
That are still suffering.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you can try to sweep that under the rug all you want. At some point, it's going to manifest itself.
Yes.
And those of us who caped for her will be left holding the bag.
Right.
You'll be held responsible.
Right.
Because you decided to hide the truth.
Right.
Instead of speaking truth.
Right.
And allowing people to make an informed decision.
Right.